Hello my dear YouTuber friends, and I do hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. Flight Sim fans, don't fret. This is Spider-Man. It's only Spider-Man. I'm going to show you how this performs on my G5 laptop. Gigabyte G5 laptop. So I'll give you some different settings with ray tracing enabled, ray tracing disabled. Doesn't it look pretty amazing though already? Show you what I feel are the best settings for this laptop. And yeah, I'll give you my overall thoughts and story on why I love playing Spider-Man. Okay, let's not dilly-dally. Let's get on with this video. Okay, so whilst I have Spider-Man perching on a building side, see their lovely screen reflections. Now you can see in the top left there, I've got my frames per second showing. I am recording with Shadow Play or NVIDIA Experience, I think it's called. So you can put on a good 5 frames on there. Let me just address the elephant in the room. Flight Sim fans, I'm usually creating flight simulator videos. Obviously, well, I mean, Spider-Man, he doesn't fly, but he does swing pretty fast, so he does fly through the air. When I had my PlayStation 5, I fell in love with Spider-Man and Miles Morales. I really regretted selling my PlayStation because of Spider-Man, but it was the only game I was playing, so it didn't really warrant me keeping it. So that's why I bought it. Not really much of a gamer outside of flight simulation. Let me just swing around the city a bit. Now, another thing, I'm using keyboard and mouse, guys, for this. I do have an Xbox 360 controller. No, return to mission just a second. I'm in the middle of the beginning missions, really. So if I go outside the area, ask me to return in this case, because I'm on a mission. Now, as you can see, I'm hitting sort of 60s. Mainly 60s. I'm getting close to the ground, so you get all the detail. Yeah. High 50s, 60s, but I'm recording with NVIDIA Experience. When I'm not recording, I'm hitting mid 60s to 70s, regardless of the detail here. Let me just get up this building here. Oh, that'll do. And just show you my settings here. And I'll go through a different combination of these settings just to show you how it runs. My laptop specs are in the description of this video. I have made videos on this laptop before. I'll link one in the top right that goes more in depth about the laptop specs. It's running an NVIDIA RTX 360 series GPU, 16 Gigabyte of RAM, i5 fast processor, and an NVMe drive. So it's fairly well specced out. I've got the preset. This is how it defaulted for me on high. Everything on high. 4 times anthropic texture filtering there. You can see the shadow quality is on high as well. Ray tracing wasn't turned on. I'll turn that on in a moment and show you. Depth of field actually was on high. I changed that. So actually, let's just escape and go back and see if that makes a difference. Now I'll put that on high. I was playing around with the settings, trying to squeeze out a couple more frames here or there. Yeah, okay, now it's dipping a little bit. So that depth of field, if you're struggling with frames, it does seem to help. But still, once the frame counter settles down, I'm still, even while recording, hitting the mid-50s. And very typically, when I'm not recording, I'm in the 60s there. There you go, back in the 60s there, even with all that detail. Right in downtown, wherever this is. Where is Spider-Man based? Is it still Gotham? Gotham, rather? Really not sure. Anyway, busy place. Still getting decent frames. Now listen, I'm not the one to talk about chasing frames. I mean, goodness me, Flight Simulator X back in the day, a powerful PC, you were lucky to get 30 frames per second. I don't chase frames as long as it's smooth, and it's a very smooth experience. And as you can see there, getting very decent frames. Over 60. As long as it's a smooth experience, I don't care. So if the frame counter's not on, it doesn't bother me if it dips below 60 frames sometimes. But I notice some people that's important. Whilst we're here, let's go through a couple of settings here. So settings, display and graphics. So let's put it on the medium preset. Some of these don't go to medium, like depth of field stays on high. Let's put it on medium, and let's just turn a couple of these off just to see. Let's turn these off. I'll have to remember to turn them on later. And just to see if the frames improve there. Not noticed a massive improvement when you switch from high to medium. The game itself actually still looks great. I'll let the frame counter in the top left there settle. I know with Afterburner it needs to settle a little bit. I don't know, it seems about roughly the same. There's a lot of detail in this game. Maybe a slight improvement, and I might see more improvement there if I wasn't recording. Okay, that'll do. Just stay there, Spider-Man. Not brilliant with mouse and keyboard personally, but I'm trying my best. Let's go back to settings and put it into low preset. There you go, low preset, try linear, so everything's changed. Let's just try that. Don't need to change anything else. Just curious myself. No, I've not tried the low preset. So this is a test. I don't know. I'll let the frame counter settle. I'm not doing very well here. Took my eyes off the game for a moment. I am flying, swinging low rather, flying. I am swinging low to the city there, so you get a lot of detail of the city. But even in low settings, as you can see, not a massive gain with the frames there. Now maybe it just needs to settle down a little bit. Maybe I just need to improve my skills with the mouse and keyboard a little bit. Apologies. I'm much better with a gamepad. And in fact, I'm not much of a gamer, so I'm not one to look for skill in gameplay. Although I was pretty good at Spider-Man on the PS5. Tell you what I'll do, let's get back up there. And we'll just test that again. So it's on low at the moment. Let's switch it all back to high. So as you can see there. Put all these to high. Now, why is it gone? Oh, okay, preset. Very low, low. Should switch them all back. Medium. High. There we go. So that's all on. Switch these back on now. So I have all the eye candy, or mainly all that eye candy. As you can see there, the frames. So the laptop's saying to me, keep me in high settings because, as you can see, there's 60 plus frames a second. Everything on high. Besides ray tracing, I will try ray tracing as the last thing. Really do love this game. Really, got to get a hold of my gamepad. Not keen on playing it. I'm leaving the mission area again. I'm not keen on playing it with mouse and keyboard. Don't feel it offers quite the control. By the way, this offers DualSense control as well. That's something I've got to try. I love the DualSense with the PS5. So I'll probably give that a go at some point. But there you go. As you can see, decent frames in high settings. Okay, let's do the big test now. This will be ray tracing reflections. Oh, not that. What am I doing there? Apologies. Don't want camera mode. Let's go back to, I don't know why I chose that. Settings. And display and graphics. Graphics. And let's put ray tracing on. There's only a couple of options you get here with ray tracing on high. Or very high. I can't seem to switch it. Yep. I thought there was a medium setting, but I can't seem to switch it. Keep in mind, this is the day one patch I'm playing on. It's the day one launch patch. I actually pre-ordered the game. Yeah, as you can see now, the graphics, the FPS, top left corner, doesn't feel quite as smooth. And to be fully honest with you, playing in this mode, so ray trace reflections on, or just screen reflection, it doesn't seem to look greatly different. It might do when you're indoors. As you can see there, we're dipping to the 30s when we get to all the detail. Not brilliant. It does need a sort of medium or low setting with ray trace reflections. I reckon I could squeeze out a few more frames. I could probably tinker around with some of the settings to get that back up to 50 to 60 frames. To be honest, perfectly honest with you, what I prefer anyway, and it feels smoother and it doesn't look greatly different outside, is to turn that off. And there you go, we're back in the 60s. With my terrible skills. Okay, I'm doing a little bit better now. Yeah, it's just getting the hang of the mouse and keyboard. I don't normally play with mouse and keyboard nowadays. There you go. Let the frame counter settle in the top right there. Just seemed to take a moment or two to settle. Well, there you go. Ah, return to the mission, thank you. Pain in the bottom, that. So there we go. Show you a little bit more here. Just so you get a rough idea. Like I said, I've not tinkered around with each individual setting. Sure, turning one or two of those advanced settings off will squeeze out a few more frames. But you know, this is absolutely very smooth. Oh, blooming hell. Let's get towards that mission, that'll be better. This seems to be very smooth. And it's bound to be more optimised as time goes on. Day one patch, there's bound to be a couple more patches probably coming over the next couple of weeks or so. So this was bound to improve. And I do hope to get hold of a 1440p monitor generally for gaming on this laptop. I think it will do rather well, so I will have to tinker with one or two of those settings. But listen, there you go. That's my quick video of how Marvel's Spider-Man runs on the Gigabyte G5 laptop. Let's get to this building over here with lots of windows. There you go. Even with ray tracing off, still got reflections in the windows. And it still looks... Actually, the draw distance does seem to be that much bit better than the PlayStation 5 version. But listen, let me know your thoughts below. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more, mainly flight sim videos, but I will do the odd video on the G5 laptop. And I'll see you soon.